Good day everyone. In our first video, we have learned the basics of the Thunderbolt's engine control. Now we are going to make use of some special features that are usable in a dogfight, ground pounding, or emergency. The one that you'll probably use the most is the interlock between the turbo lever and the throttle. While at high altitude your throttle is open all the way, and the power is controlled with the turbocharger, during a dogfight, your attention will be focused on the outside of the cockpit. That's why it is recommended to lock the boost lever to your throttle. That way you can cut or advance the power in a safer way. When doing bombing runs, gun strafings, or rocket attacks, you'll have an easier time managing the power levels by locking the throttle and the prop pitch lever. Because you're at low altitude, the turbo will not be engaged, so the engine can react in a more intuitive way. Both the manifold pressure and RPM will change together. Now, let's take a look at using external tanks and the two internal tanks. With the latest 2.7.1 update, the P47's main tank capacity was increased to 270 gallons. Considering a total of 370 gallons and a fuel consumption of 210 gallons per hour on maximum continuous power, the Thunderbolt can fly for 86 minutes at maximum continuous with a 20-minute reserve on internal fuel alone. Oftentimes in single-player campaigns, you'll find yourself carrying external tanks. There are 3 stations that can carry them. The wing points, that can mount 108-gallon paper tanks, 110-gallon metal tanks, or the huge 150-gallon tanks. In addition, the centerline hardpoint can also mount the 108 and 110-gallon tanks. Fuel from the tanks is pumped out by bleed air from the engine supercharging system, so they can only be used up in flight. To change to an external tank, first select which station you want to draw fuel from, then place the main selector to external. From time to time, shift between the tanks to avoid a fuel imbalance. Once you reach your cruising altitude, reduce manifold pressure to below 32 inches and RPM below 2,200, then select Auto Lean On with the mixture lever. This will set the engine to use about 100 gallons of fuel every hour. Considering the maximum fuel that can be carried, you can stay in the air for 7 hours, a bit less if you are climbing for a long time. If you need to stay in formation for long-range escorts, the best way to regulate your power is to make small adjustments of the RPM. Once the external tanks are empty, select the main or auxiliary tank and pull the jettison lever of the corresponding station to drop the tank. The change in center of mass is not modeled for the main and auxiliary tanks, so you can use them as you see fit. In some situations, either from battle damage, excessive punishment, or bad luck, the engine may fail. That will cause the air screw to wind back to its minimum pitch angle. This is a bad thing if you have to glide, as it will create unneeded drag. Luckily, the pitch control governor is electric, and you can set it to manual, after which, increase the pitch with the decrease RPM button until it reaches the feathered position. Battle damage may also cause your generator to stop working. In this scenario, set the prop pitch to manual, adjust it for a cruise at 24 to 2500 RPM, after which, disconnect the battery to prevent it from running empty. Once you're ready to land, switch the battery on again and the governor to automatic. This will make the landing easier